Hello students, I'm Michael Sanchez, violin teacher here. Hope you guys are having a good evening. Today we're going to be talking about shifting for all you intermediates out there, or maybe some that are beginners looking to start doing shifting. So some things I'm going to talk about basically are just some tips on shifting most efficiently, how to get a good sound when shifting, and hopefully after today you guys will have some stuff to work on. Alright, so what I want to first talk about is just the importance of the thumb position and how it plays a role in shifting. So I find quite often that students, when they shift, they tend to have their fingers kind of not really consistent as far as their thumb. It kind of comes up different ways. But what you should be doing is making sure that the first finger and the thumb are moving up together at all times. So this would be a shift from first position to third, and back to first. And basically the key is to have this be as consistent as possible, done the same way every single time. That's what's going to help you to eventually get it very accurate and in tune. Notice that when I'm doing this, my hand is back. It's not actually even with the first finger. I'm not shifting like this. My hand is farther back. The purpose for that is basically that when I'm in first position, I have to be able to reach my low ones easily. So I don't want to be in a position where my hand has to awkwardly come in and out. I want to be in a position where my hand is going to do the same thing every time, so I never want it to come in and out. And thus having it back farther is going to help me with shifting, or really in any situation. Okay? So now, whatever note I play in third position or in first, I'm just laying my fingers out. I'm not actually reaching for notes. That's the other thing that you can easily do inaccurately is have the hand constantly coming in and out while you're trying to place fingers down. So if you place a finger down more like this instead of like this, that's what I'm trying to help you avoid. That's going to help you be more accurate with shifting because you want the hand to be basically at the same position all the time as you're shifting. Not maybe here one time, maybe out here one time. You want it to be always in the same spot. Okay? Alright, so let's just go ahead and try some shifts. So let's take first finger on the D string. What I want you to do is shift back and forth from that note, which is E, up to G, and come up and down. I want you guys to focus on the thumb doing the same thing every time, being even with the first finger, and the hand being back. So let's do just like this. Just like that. Alright, now what I want you guys to do is do the same thing, but now when you go in the third position, I want you to land with a 2 and not a 1. But what I want you to do as you do that is also move the thumb and the 1 together so that you can still feel how far you're going with that, but then just lay the 2 down. I see quite often what students do is that as they shift, they just kind of place their finger down, kind of hoping for the best. I've been playing violin for 25 years, and if I did it that way, I would be just as inaccurate as you guys, if you're inaccurate. You have to have a system. You have to have the back basically functioning, I call it the capo. So if you guys know what a capo is in guitar, it's basically, you know, this clamp that is in the same spot every time and moves up and down. So you have to have your thumb and your index kind of function as your capo, as you're shifting, and then you know exactly where you're at to be able to place the other fingers down. Okay? So this would be incorrect to just shift and not be thinking about the thumb and the index. This would be correct. Okay, so let's try it now with first finger to second finger in third, like this. Good, let's try it with 3 now. the 4, even harder. So thumb position was consistent, and then as I did that 4th finger, I still had that 1 and thumb together, and then just laying down out the 4, but not laying the 4 out this way, right? We're laying it just with the finger. Like that. So this really relates to vibrato. We've talked a lot about that in previous classes, how it's really important to have a really flexible hand and not be tense. So if you guys are moving the hand in and out and kind of just reaching for notes, hoping for the best, fingers flying everywhere, then the hand's not going to be relaxed to be able to get that good vibrato motion. So as I'm doing everything that I've showed you guys so far, it's very important to be consistent, to just use the finger, the tip of the finger, so that there isn't any sort of tension in the hand from here on down. So I can still do vibrato as I shift up into 3rd position. So what most students would do is they would shift and kind of like press down really hard, and then their hand is super tense, and then they can't move, right? Like that. We need it to come down efficiently to where our hand is still able to do the same thing that I was doing in 1st position, right? Okay. So with that in mind, and this is you guys are all at different levels, but practicing doing this with vibrato would be a really good thing. So let's do 1-to-1, practicing our vibrato, but sticking to the fundamentals of the 1 and the thumb. But this time we're going to try to vibrate. Try with 2. Try with 3. The 4. It's like that. So I highly recommend working on this and really focusing on consistency. It's certainly not easy, but once you guys get it, it's going to make shifting and doing vibrato a lot easier. Cool. I'd love to take some questions from the audience. So every week we've been doing these classes, and I've been trying to just give all the tips that I possibly can to students interested. You guys can ask questions on the events page. You can join in on the live class. You can email me afterwards and ask me questions at michael@superiorviolins.com. So I'm always here to help, and anything you guys are wondering about, feel free to ask. Looks like we have a bunch of our followers that are watching right now. I can view the events page right now. So to get involved with these classes, all you have to do is visit violintutorpro.com, which we have working very nicely now. And then if you click on live classes, that's where you're going to be able to stream the class live and sign up for next week's. I'm actually going to be doing a really cool class next week, Wednesday at 9. I'm going to teach you guys how to play You Raise Me Up. So Josh Groban song. I'll play it here in a little bit. So yeah, that's going to be next Wednesday, the 2nd of March at should be 9 p.m. Eastern time. I need to change that. This is going to be the same time as we're doing right now. Cool. So definitely sign up for the classes and visit violintutorpro.com. We also have a bunch of new lessons on the website. So if you click on lessons, you'll be able to start browsing around. So for example, if I click on intermediate lessons, there's a ton of good videos in here that are going to help you guys to improve your skills. If I click on vibrato tips, keeping the bow hand relaxed, this is a really good lesson. And what you'll notice is that on the right side of the screen, we also have a form that says subscribe to Michael's Daily Tips. So you can sign up for either beginner tips or intermediate. and I've been working on those quite a bit lately. So basically, you'll get an email every day from me, just with some tips on violin, linking you to various videos that I have on my website, like this one. So here's just a kind of a preview of all the stuff I have on my website. It's quite a bit. So I've done a lot of different webinar classes, showing students how to go through various sheet music, just short clips on tips, songs like Ave Maria, Bach, and I do mention like the year experience, like 1 to 2 year experience webinar, and 2 to 4 year, and so on. So hopefully you guys get a chance to check that out. All right, let's see if we can find any other questions. Sometimes it takes a little while for everybody to get into the routine of asking questions. Feel free at any time to do that, guys. All right, maybe I'll give you guys a few more tips, unless Don or Julianne want to say something or ask a question. They're actually here on the live class. So, Julianne, would you like to say something? Maybe ask a question or just say hello? You have to unmute yourself. No problem.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to be in this class. I've been doing some shifting for a couple of years now, and the way you explained the thumb and the first finger and keeping the hand always those in the same position, I think are really good pointers that I've never heard before. So thank you.
Good. You're welcome. Have you taken private lessons before?
I have been. I've been taking the last 3 years from Suzuki at the university here in Wisconsin, at Central Wisconsin, Stevens Point. But
Okay.
I came in kind of as a not really an intermediate, but someone that played violin when she was 7, 8 years old and hadn't played for 40 years. So I knew some things, but pretty rusty. But it's good to be.
Yeah, that's okay. That's great. So what positions have you learned, and what pieces are you working on?
I've been working on the Whistler for kind of a warm-up, and been actually doing a lot of fifth position. So I'm working on the Suzuki book 5 right now, which is covering second position, third position, and a lot of fifth position.
Excellent. That's great. You're actually giving me reason to maybe show people some cool books like the ones you've mentioned. Maybe I'll take you guys on a tour real quick. So Julianne just mentioned some really good etude books that are really good for helping students learn fifth position. So I'm going to go to my website real quick, violintutorpro.com, and scroll down on the home page and show you guys. There's a ton of blogs that we've written, and we're doing about 1 or 2 a week now. But there's actually a blog article that I wrote that has a bunch of etudes, free etudes. So I'm going to find that real quick and show you guys. So we got about violin composers, 5 habits of top level players. Here, check this out. If you have trouble finding it, you could also go to the search bar and just type in 5 habits. So we need to work on scales. Obviously, that's important as a violinist. And then working on etudes is extremely important. So I actually put here 5 etude books that are free and available in the public domain. Wolfart's a really good book. That's normally what I start students on if they've been playing, say, a year or 2. And that's going to have just first position, but it's going to have really good exercises for the violin. Kaiser is going to be more advanced. It's going to have 3rd and 5th positions. So you guys could download that for free. Mazas I use all the time for my students. So I don't know, Julianne, if you've used Mazas before.
No, I haven't.
But, okay. It's a really good book. What I like about it is that it's an etude book, but it also, you know, has songs, like stuff that you could actually, you know, perform and play. So it might make my computer run a little bit too slow to open it, but basically it has 1st, 3rd, 5th. The 1st and 2nd pieces are really good. I use those all the time with students. So yeah, I recommend you guys checking that out. The sit books, which is the fourth one here, is really good for fourth and sixth positions. So I highly recommend you guys checking that out. And then obviously Kreutzer is the very famous violin guide and etude book that most advanced players know about and use. I would recommend you guys checking out these 5. Oh, and actually right here I have a screenshot of the sweep stroke, which happens to be in the Mazda book. So I'll just play you guys a sweeping stroke, which is on my screen right now. So accents and staccato. We could work on doing it more staccato, or and so on. So those are basically etudes. That's a little bit less like a song, but that's really good practice of accents, staccato, sforzandos, scales, arpeggios, you name it. So if you guys have never worked on etudes, I highly recommend it for shifting, for intonation. It's going to really help improve your skills. All right, let's see if I can find any other questions. See, Don says, intonation is a challenge, living with the tuner on and my ears wide open. Nice. Yes, being that it's a fretless instrument, I can't say it's going to be the easiest thing for many people, but practicing your scales and your etudes are really going to help. All right, Julianne, do you have any questions or comments? Feel free at this time to ask.
I guess one of the things when you were demonstrating, when you said keep the thumb and the first finger kind of always in the same position as you're moving from first to a different position, you don't always then put the first finger down, or do you put it down and then put your other fingers down?
Great question. So, yeah, actually, when I'm shifting into third or any other position, I actually try to keep the finger down, but not necessarily pressing down hard, just kind of feeling where I'm at. So I definitely don't lift it off the strings when I shift. So I'm not going from here and then kind of lifting up at all. It's definitely staying down. So what you'll notice is that there's just a little bit of a slide into that note, but then I kind of instantly put the finger down. I'll kind of go slow motion, like this is kind of what I'm doing. But I do it faster than that so that you can't really hear the one. So could you hear that I, like, just for a very split second was doing that one?
Thank you.
Good question. So yeah, and the purpose of that is, you know, a lot of times, you know, you're going to have another finger, but then instantly go to the one. So if it's already there, it's much more efficient. You'll be able to play faster in various circumstances. Also, just the consistency of feeling that shift. So I'm always feeling that same feeling with the side of my hand, the thumb, the glide, you know, how the one feels as it's shifting. So if I didn't have any of those things, I wouldn't know exactly where to shift. So having the 3 things, the thumb, the hand, the finger, is basically what is telling me exactly how far to go. And that applies to going from first to fourth, first to fifth. And the more that you do that and you practice that, the more, you know, muscle memory you'll build and the better you'll get at it. But if there's other variables that are happening, so if one time your hand's a little bit more open, or one time your finger's up and not down, or one time your thumb is farther back as you're shifting up or it doesn't come all the way up, if those things are happening, then you can only imagine it's already hard enough, you're making it that much harder. So yeah, so I highly recommend just trying to make it as simple as possible. The hand, the same angle, the thumb, the same spot, the finger, the same distance and same way down on the fingerboard and all that. So Great. Let's see if I can find any other questions. So hope you guys decide to sign up for my daily tips. And next week we have 2 classes going on. Beginner class at 8 o'clock Eastern. You can join through the website. And then Wednesday we're doing You Raise Me Up. We're going to be teaching that 9 o'clock on Wednesday next week. Don asks, "Did the daily tips something new?" Yeah, Don. So they're pretty new. So basically, I give they're real short, and I link people to mostly just short videos. So don't worry, like, you know, if I get a daily email, I'm gonna like get overwhelmed with stuff to do. It's more just like short clips of me giving you guys tips. Obviously, you can browse around more if you want after watching the tip. But what I'm noticing with all the analytics of just kind of analyzing where people are going on my website, that I do some really good lessons on the violin, and like they only have so many views. So I figure there has to be a way to kind of guide people more and kind of show them where to go and what to watch. So the purpose of the daily tips is hopefully to say do this, this, and this, and then the goal would be for you guys to improve. Good question. All right, any others? I might play You Raise Me Up here at the end, so next week's class. All right, so let me do that a second. I see Troy just kind of, how you doing, Troy? Feel free to say hello. Troy's been in on the last few classes. He's a beginner, but he's been doing a great job at learning.
Hi, Michael. I had a little bit. I had some trouble getting on, so.
That's okay. So what's up? How's your practice week going?
I'm actually learning the third position.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it harder than you thought, or are you doing?
I kind of got a little inspiration from you had the little guy on your student doing the F major scale in third position, and
Yep.
it gave me some motivation.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of I've been doing that a lot lately with students and posting videos of them, and I have quite a few of them. So cool. I see that you have some stickers on the violin. That's good. That helps to know exactly where to go with the shifts. Let's take a look at those stickers. See how you have them set up. Cool. So awesome. Yeah, looks good. So yeah, I highly recommend that. I normally have students use stickers for the first 2 or 3 years. I start to take them off, you know, when I feel like they're really starting to build good muscle memory. Towards the end of that, they might have just like some third and fifth position stickers, but none in first. So you guys could like start eliminating them as you're feeling like you're, you know, really feeling good about where you're at. But yeah, never be ashamed of stickers. They're really helpful.
Michael, I have a question for you.
Yep.
I know you keep harping on fingers up, but I seem to have a problem with my third finger and not being able to keep its position. I'm always having to maybe slide it back in order to find it. Is that just a matter of getting used to dropping them in the right position, or I don't understand how I can eliminate my third finger from having to pull back instead of just dropping right down where it needs to be?
Sure. Do you want to just maybe, yeah, I think so. If you could just play something, if you don't mind, it doesn't have to be fancy, just maybe even like not just pretending like you're playing and like how you place fingers down. And I can kind of see what you're dealing with. So feel free to unmute yourself as well. But yeah, I'm taking a look at your hand position. Okay. Yep. Let's kind of hang out there for a second. Cool. All right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm noticing, yeah, a little bit of hand movement. Not bad, though. So your finger angles are pretty good. Okay, yeah, let me give you a tip that might help you, Troy. So, so right now, I mean, your finger angles are good, but they could be a little bit better. So right now you're about here with your angles. You should be more like this. That's going to help you a little bit more. Your finger height is about here right now, and it could be a little bit higher. What I suggest is paying more attention to your first finger knuckle. So try to get this to have more arc, be more like I have right now. Right now you're kind of more like this with the first finger knuckle. So I'm trying to show you guys this finger, how high it should be when you play the violin. See that, Troy, how high it is? So you're just a little bit like this, and that makes it somewhat challenging at times to like find certain combinations. If you combine the height with just being a little bit like this instead of like this, that's where you're going to have a little bit of trouble. But you're doing really well. It looks good. It's just those slight things could be slightly improved. So hope that helps. Cool. Awesome. I see we have Cynthia that just joined us. Cynthia, you just popped in, but would you mind saying hello? Feel free.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late. I have a horrible commute coming home, but glad to be here. I missed you Monday night, though, Michael. I was all ready for that class, the beginner's class.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Some things came up. So, yeah, we'll be back on next Monday for sure.
Cool.
Great. So, yeah, how's the progress?
Well, I'm still practicing. I think it's getting a little better. I've been practicing on my bow strokes primarily. Still some of the screechiness, but my sister's birthday was Sunday, so I taught myself how to play Happy Birthday, so she was very pleased. I made her a little video, so it's going.
Good. Keep up the good work. As long as you keep coming back and trying to learn, that's what you try to do.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. All right. Well, I think I'll conclude the class with playing a little bit of You Raise Me Up and kind of preview next week's class. So, yeah, I'll be teaching it next week to you guys. So here we go. I actually played this for my dad's wedding 8 years ago. This is what he wanted me to play for him. So brings back good memories. So I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I did a lot of shifting in there from first to third. A lot of spots where I really had to have that good hand position. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit next week and give you guys some tips on how to learn it. So hope that's something you look forward to. So if you guys want to sign up for it, just go right on to violintutorpro.com and just show you guys that are coming in a little bit later. So visit the site. Violin Tutor Pro, go to Live Classes, and then you're going to find it towards the bottom. How to play Raise Me Up. Just click on the events page here. If you follow me on Google Plus, you will get notifications and stuff. Looks like John said he's going to be there. And what I'll do too right now is just share the link with everybody that's watching right now on the events page. Cool. So yeah, Monday we're going to be doing a beginner class. So just kind of teaching you guys some tips on how to improve as a beginner. Yeah, hopefully see some of you guys on Wednesday. Right. Any other questions? You guys have a great week. Study hard, practice hard, never give up, and keep taking care of your animals. That's always my motto too. I have 3 cats, so gotta always take time for the cats. All right, see you guys. Have a good evening. Talk soon. Bye.